Welcome back to iHearIC Radio. I believe this is the 113th episode of the series. My name is Justin Comer. I've been hosting this thing since October 2017, but the iHearIC concert series goes back even further. The concept of the radio show is to highlight local music, and, I kind of have broadened it a little bit to highlight other creative avenues from people, doing fun stuff in Iowa City and the surrounding area. It's a show celebrating creativity in this geographical region. We'll say that. And as I said, October 2017 is when we started this. That's currently October 2020, so we're coming up on an anniversary. And we've had a bit of a tradition going on the radio show. Every year or so, no, actually every year, not year or so, it's once a year. My good friend Duroje Gwamna joins me for an anniversary show. He was here 2018, 2019, and now the third anniversary of iHearIC Radio. We got Duroje Gwamna once again. Welcome back, D.
Hey, man. It kind of feels like old times, doesn't it? Some sense of normalcy throughout this crazy year, huh?
Yeah, well, I mean, under normal circumstances, we'd be hanging out in the same room,
I know, right?
Hanging out at the radio station.
Exactly. We'd be, shooting the stuff, beforehand,
Yeah.
Right outside. Yeah, I know. Now I'm like basically in my pajamas, my wife's office, looking at this fish tank while I'm talking to you.
Yeah, I think I've been wearing these clothes for probably like 36 hours now. My hair is getting really weird,
Dude, no,
I don't leave the house, so what does it matter?
Right? Dude, well, honestly, I think that kind of, I like the hair kind of matches kind of like this whole, like, I don't know what you want to call it, motif or whatever. I feel like it evokes a sense of agency that you've been kind of about, that you've been about as long as I've known you, at least outside of the context, like, I feel like, you're like, hey, this is what I'm supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? I feel like this is like, call it an alter ego or whatever you have it, but it's like, you're a man with a mission.
Okay.
I feel like that's what that means to me.
Well, man, I'm glad that I exude that kind of self-confidence. I don't always feel that inside, but if that's the way it looks from the outside, maybe I can take advantage of that.
I think so, man. I really think so. If you hear any weird noises, I think it might be the cats trying to make an unwanted entrance in here.
Oh, I don't hear anything, but I wouldn't mind seeing them if they happen to break in.
Absolutely. Well, one of them is actually kind of barred from coming in here because the plants are actually the reason why they're in here.
Oh, okay.
Because of these devil cats. So if he comes in, I'll make sure he says hi and I'll throw him out of there.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah. No, but you bet.
Well, as I mentioned a minute ago, usually the show is on the radio, like the real radio, but now it's a podcast. Duroje and I are recording this over Zoom, so we can see each other. There's a video. I'm recording a video right now. And if you subscribe to the iHearIC Patreon, it's patreon.com/IHEARIC, you can see the video if you want. But for free, you can just listen to us talk, and that's fine as well.
Exactly.
And I think I heard you use the phrase shoot the stuff.
Yeah, man, I was trying to edit myself.
Yeah, you're trying not to use the profanity.
Yeah, try not to add the blue into the airways, if you will.
Sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, we're not actually on the airwaves now, so if you want,
shit, that's right.
You can say shit. It's okay.
Right. So okay, that crosses off one thing off my checklist.
Yeah, you don't you don't have to filter yourself so much now.
No, that's good. Although shoot the stuff, doesn't that sound like an album title or something? You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that sounds like something that you and I would come up with, of just like some like not necessarily random, but I remember the last time that we were here, you did some pretty cool stuff. We did some. Oh yeah,
we improvised in the studio. Yeah.
Yeah.
We shot our stuff.
We did. All right. I'll be right back.
Okay. It looks like Duroje is chasing down a cat.
Yeah, he's it's like those dust. Have you ever seen? Are you familiar with like those Miyazaki films, like My Neighbor Totoro? Does that
Yeah,
ring
yeah,
a bell?
I know them. I know I've seen at least a couple of them, but I can't remember which ones.
So
Howl's Moving Castle, is that him? Miyazaki?
I've never. Yeah, it is. Yes,
Okay.
I've never seen the movie though. But like the it brings our little black cats on one entrance reminded me of
Mm.
the dust bunnies from My Neighbor Totoro. So like he's a black cat, right? So like as soon as like the light shines or whatever, like these anthropomorphic dust bunnies just like shoot out all over the place. Like granted, like I think we have a mutual like growing disdain for each other because he is a kitten, but I think I'll eventually like get to like him. But boy, he's something else, man. He kind of sucks right now.
Yeah,
But
too much of a
yeah,
hassle.
he is, man. Like every one of the plants, I think has had an insignia of like his bites. So
Yep.
I mean, yeah, they're they're in a safe spot until he's here. So yeah.
Yeah, the fascination with plants that may not go away with age. I've known some older cats that still enjoy chewing on
They're
leaves.
still enjoying
Yeah.
their greenery.
Yeah.
Well, what do you and Ashley have? You guys have a couple little kitties, don't you?
Yeah, we've got a couple cats. They're I think 9 and 5 now.
Really? Oh
Yeah,
my
so
god!
they're getting a little older.
When we visited you guys for like just some food and stuff like that, that we got to meet them at least for a little bit.
Mhm.
How was Ashley doing?
Oh, she's good. She's just watching TV in the other room right now, but
Oh,
she's been
right on.
exercising like nonstop. Kind of the
Oh,
opposite of me recently.
hey man, you're good. You're good.
She set up a
No,
little like space for her bike downstairs, so it's like
oh,
it's
sick.
propped up on this little
Stationary.
thing and it's stationary.
Oh, right.
It's a
Does
real
that like?
bike, but she took the wheel off.
Oh, nice. That's is she? Man, I would imagine though with COVID, I wonder are they still doing like some sort of triathlon kind of stuff?
She's done like virtual, more like just running. There hasn't been that much triathlon stuff because swimming is kind of
Right.
dangerous to do in public areas right now.
Oh yeah, that's true. You can't really fill up a bathtub and can't
Yeah,
really do that.
but she's
At least
kept
not
up with like biking and running quite a bit.
That's good. Like it's kind of cool like that she's really took that on. I used to ride my bike, believe it or not, a while ago. I used to play soccer, but you know, yeah, man.
Yeah,
Can't really
I've never been super athletic myself.
yeah. I looked the part, but I don't act it.
Let
Yeah,
me
man.
let me show you something here. I want to see if the share
What you got?
screen thing will work. So this will be like an extra bonus for the people watching the video.
Oh,
Let me see if
sweet.
I can make this work. Because going into this, I was thinking, we had talked, and it seemed like you maybe didn't have a webcam. So I was thinking it might
Oh,
be uh, audio only on your end. Are you seeing a picture of yourself now?
I am, yeah.
Okay, so
I'm sorry, I thought you had like a detached webcam. I'm sorry, I fibbed. I do have
oh,
one. Sorry.
that's totally fine. But
Yeah,
yeah, in case the people couldn't see you, I was gonna just put up this picture of you, and so people could see you the whole time. And then
oh, thank you.
I did a little thing, so I could, when you talk, I can do this. You see that?
Dude, oh my god, that would be so dope. I wish you know what we could do. Actually, this is perfect. So, like, I wish there's a way you could get like a. I wish you could set up like a sort of like an automated kind of thing or whatever,
Oh yeah,
kind of like Arduino or whatever, where like it hears my weird voice and then it does like this whole South Park thing you got going
yeah,
on right
yeah.
now.
Like it
That would be
detects
hilarious. And
it detects your speech, so the mouth moves with you. Yeah,
yes, and you need to do that too, like kind of like on the side or whatever. You know what I mean? So it just has the both of us.
yeah.
You
We could
know,
turn our microphones off and just have it be these pictures here. Yeah, it's
that
very
would,
South Park. Yeah,
it's very, but I love everything about it. I love it.
yeah. All right, well,
That's no, dude,
I'm gonna get
that's
rid of that
perfect.
for now.
No, dude, it's the novelty of it. It's very important, and I'm glad that you shared that with me.
Good, good.
I didn't expect anything less of you there, Justin Comer.
All right, so it's been a year since you were on this program. I have had
Yes,
you on Rock Hard Caucus twice since then. We were kind of
I know.
tackling more like serious subjects,
Yeah.
but now we can get a little more frivolous. So, what have you been up to since we've all been like locked up in our
Oh shit.
homes?
To be honest, like last time we've talked, bro, like not much has really changed. I've still been at ACT. It's been it's been kind of tumultuous at some points just because like any other company, they're trying to figure out how to get through this whole COVID thing, just like every place else. We're still trying to figure out how to deliver testing for students, but it's just a matter of people that are just trying to get out of their homes and do the damn thing. But it's we can't really we're trying to make the best out of it. Just keep morale up, trying to keep morale up in the house. I've been trying to eat healthy. Can't really tell much right now, but I'm drinking tea rather than pop, so there's that.
That's smart. Yeah,
that is smart. Yeah. Oh yeah. One of the most important things. I am an uncle as of about almost a month ago.
Yeah.
So my brother, he's a couple years younger than I am. He gave birth to a little girl named Liv. So
which brother was that?
New.
Your voice cut out for a second.
Oh, sorry, Yahya.
Yeah,
he's my immediate younger brother.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he was the best man at the wedding.
Right.
Yeah. So I got. Yeah, man. So that's cool. Not really, honestly, man. Not much. Just trying to keep my head above water. Oh yeah, another thing too. I lied. I got some recording stuff actually.
Oh,
yeah? I got my PreSonus USB 96. Got this boy right here.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually pick this up at any like online retailer. I picked mine up from yeah, why not? If you want to edit this out, that's fine.
No, it's fine.
I got this from American Musical. The cool thing is for broke fucks like me, you can actually make monthly payments if you have bad credit, like I do. So you make monthly payments to pick this bad boy up. And you can also get like my microphone's not the greatest. It's like some nondescript one. Mm-hmm. In fact, like it came with like this weird like USB connector or whatever, rather than like an actual XLR cable.
Yeah.
So that was weird. So I had to actually purchase like another XLR cable or whatever. But yeah, man, that's been fun. Just recording my voice.
Did you get the mic at the same time from the same place? Did you get the mic from the same place? Okay.
Yeah, dude. It's cool because like I could because the keyboard I have, it's like it's a Nectar 49.
Mm-hmm.
I could plug it in as a MIDI, but I just used my USB, but I could use my MIDI from this thing and also record from there at the same time anyway. So that's been cool.
Yeah. What kind of stuff have you been recording?
So I've been recording a bunch of nonsense. I mean, it's weird just because I can hear my voice do what it does, but I can modulate it to whatever. So the one thing I've done, like I've been trying to come up with a concept, right? One of the songs I think next time I'll just send this to you and maybe, you could show it, you can do whatever you want with it, but it's a song that it's called King of Comfort. It's, we have a dog. He's super lazy. His name's Pirate. I think you met him. He was at our engagement.
I know your dogs pretty well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So he's called the King of Comfort because all he does, he just lays on the couch all goddamn day. And like, I just came up with like a ditty. It goes, he's the king of comfort. He's the king of, and then it goes, king of comfort. Kind of like I don't know what you want to call it, like some sort of like early Motown kind of stuff,
Sure, yeah. I was thinking it had kind of like a gospel sound.
Exactly. Yeah. Right. With backing. That's exactly it. Yes. In fact, yeah, I'm so it's something that I was just coming up with, kind of a tribute to my lazy ass dog. Mm-hmm. But just silly stuff like that, really. But eventually, like I want to come up with stuff that is more mission focused, based on what's been going on in this country, in this world and stuff. But it's like being in the right mindset means like having to recognize that it's taking a toll on us. Yeah. So like I actually haven't sat down in this office, let alone to do any work like this in months. And it's been embarrassing.
That was actually something I was going to ask you specifically. So since we've been locked up, have you been playing much of your trombone?
I have. Actually, yes.
Good.
Yeah, I've been playing a lot of that. I've been practicing with Fode Out.
You guys practice regularly?
Yes, we practiced. Yes, we practiced actually last Thursday. We're having our show in a couple months. Actually, we're having it in Des Moines
Hmm.
at Woolies, December 11th. So that should be a good time. We're trying to find if you know any like cover acts. Actually, we're trying to find a good cover act or whatever that could open for us. That would be awesome. But we've Fresh Fighters I think was booked, but like yeah, we're getting ready for that. It's been a good time. I really like it.
Okay, I know some bands.
Sorry.
It's been a while since I was like in the booking business, but I might have some names for you to try.
Sure, man. Absolutely. But yeah, I've been playing a lot, at least not practicing, but I've been definitely, trying to bust my chops there a little bit.
Sure, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Hey, go ahead.
confession, I haven't played a saxophone since March.
You're kidding.
No.
Dude. Nah, dude. I really?
Yeah.
Oh my holy shit.
At first, so like when
Oh,
this all started, I was just coming off of I'd played in Phoenix. Ashley and I were in California, so I'd been traveling a lot. Like
yeah.
right when stuff started blowing up, so I was like
Yes.
nervous because I'd been around a lot of people in a lot of different places, and I had played
Yeah.
my sax in a few of those places. So it's like, what was I blowing into my sax? What was I
Out.
blowing out of my sax?
Right. Holy shit. No, damn. That's quite the, I mean, glad that you did the right thing, I guess, but that is true, I guess, as horn players, like what you're literally blowing out to people. In fact, when we practice, I try to angle it more down than I normally do,
Yeah.
just because I don't want people to be exposed. It
Hmm.
just sucks because, I mean, I think that there's some masks out there that you can put like literally over, I mean, while you're playing, it like opens up only while you're playing, but I don't know. Or maybe at least over the bell.
Yeah, I've
I mean, I
seen
don't know if that.
bell hoods or something. I don't remember what they call them, but
Mhm.
I've seen bell covers.
Yeah. No, man, I feel you though. It's like it's hard to, I mean, for me to, I don't practice. I don't. Like whatever comes out comes out. Like I am not the most dedicated musician at all.
Yeah.
Like the only way that people can get anything out of me, I hate to say it, this is probably something I probably shouldn't say, is if people actually ask me, "Hey, could you do something? Do me a solid, arrange me something, play me something." I'm like, okay. Now that there's like something on there, now that there's like somebody that's at my restaurant that I have to serve them,
Right.
I mean, I gotta do it. You know what I mean? Otherwise, if there's nobody at this restaurant or whatever, if I'm not promoting, I'm just kind of like laying dormant, which something I think, I don't know if that's something that us musicians, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, or artists, if you will, have a hard time trying to like, maybe it's me. Maybe I'm not like as dedicated in my craft as much as I like to be, but
Hmm.
maybe it's the conundrum of wanting to do more without burning yourself out. You know what I mean? So you can still sharpening that knife, but like maybe it's important not to overdo it, I guess. You know what I mean? With what's going on, I guess, so that we're not burning ourselves from both ends. Because like I'd like to think, hey, I can work on this mystery album that I wanted to work on for the longest time, but like when I tried to crank something out like a few months ago, I felt like it wasn't really doing anything, It was just,
Hmm.
boy, I was just getting tired, just plunking the same chords, singing the same stuff, It's like I was playing to a dead crowd. So
Right.
yeah, I feel you, man. I'm on I feel you on that since for me too.
Yeah. First, I was scared because I didn't know what was in my saxophone, and then I was just depressed, and then it was like, well, I don't need to play it. I guess I can
Yeah.
let it sit there for a while.
It sucks too because you got that berry. You can do some monstrous things with that berry.
I
You know what I
know.
mean?
Yeah. Hopefully, when I pick it back up, I can still play it.
You not to be too nerdy. Do you have a Yamaha berry? What kind of berry?
My berry is a Con 3M.
Hell yeah, that sounds just badass. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
I
Like
really like it.
I feel like the people that say they got a con, I'm like, yeah, I got a con. You know what I mean? Like it's got some purpose. You know what I mean? Now if they said if it was like a Bach for a brass guy, it's like, oh, well, I play a Bach strat. I play, in this Eastern Iowa Well, no, I'm kidding. No, whatever instrument you play. I mean, I played this Yamaha it's like a secondhand Yamaha my parents got since 2008. It's still in decent condition, believe it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Dropped it probably a couple dozen times. I mean, not really, it's still doing its thing. So, that's what's up.
Yeah. Do you know the origins of my Barry?
No, actually, I don't think I do.
Okay.
No, sir.
Well, when I was still working at West, I think I got it in 2015, either 2015 or like early 2016. But you remember Feldman, right?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So when he was the store manager, at some point he like came into a bunch of old like beat up instruments that had been they'd been kind of salvaged from like a middle school, I think, in Missouri.
Right?
From what?
From Joplin, wasn't it?
I don't remember exactly, but I know it was from Missouri. Yeah.
Yes.
Were you still working there then?
I was still working there before I got fired. Because like I do remember it was like a pile right in the center.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, well, here, boys. So whatever you want, just fix me a good deal, and you know what I mean?
Yeah. It was just like a mountain of crap just sitting in the middle of the sales floor.
like what kind of like if you think about the people that show up at here's my dog, like the clientele that comes to West Music, most of them are well-to-do, looking to get Francine, like their Steinway or God knows what.
Yeah.
And you have this giant pile of like beat up instruments just sitting like right in front of the entrance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude. Old dirty cases all ripped up.
Dirty, it looked like something from a junkyard. I swear to God. Like,
but that's where I got the Barry. Yeah, pulled it out of there.
Did you like make you a good deal? Like, how did that come out?
It's been a while. I think I paid $400 for the instrument,
really?
Which for a Barry is a good deal.
That is beyond a good deal.
Yeah.
That's as much as like a pro line trombone. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like if you compare the value of a peso to a value of a dollar, the trombone is a peso.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And any saxophone is $1 by far. Maybe a pound.
And then I paid my friend Bruce Western to fix it up, which was like another $300-400 or something.
Is he like was it from Tender Madness or from somewhere else?
Bruce is he's like an independent repair guy in Cedar Rapids. Cool. I studied saxophone with him in high school, and he's got a shop down in his basement where he fixes stuff up. So I always go to him.
Does he do trombones? Or
I don't think he does trombones. He might be willing to try, but I think he's mostly into woodwinds.
Right. No, that intricacies of that makes sense.
Yeah, he loves key work and that kind of stuff.
Exactly. No, that's cool, man. No, it plays like crazy, man. You make it sound so good. You know what I mean?
Thanks.
So that's awesome.
Yeah, the only like kind of downside to it is it's such an old instrument that it doesn't have a low A because they weren't really doing that yet on Barrys.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, like a standard saxophone, the lowest note, at least written, is a B flat, and then on Barrys, like on newer ones and like higher model ones, they add another key, so it goes down another half step.
Goes down even further. That's B flat written, I'm assuming, or concert B flat.
B flat written. So on a Barry, that would be D flat. Sure.
Yeah. It's like. Because like whenever have you noticed like whenever you're writing with Sibelius or whatever, and like you're trying to write something for Barry, after like E or E flat, it starts to like the color on it starts to change, saying hey, this
right.
really go down low.
Yeah, it shows you when you're out of range.
I don't know we can go down to B flat. Yeah, I don't know we can go down to like to deep like to B flat. I had no idea.
Mm-hmm.
That actually gives me enough. That you might actually get me to start writing again, because it's that goddamn Barry part that always trips me up. I'm like, well, if you can only get down to that note that I wanted, that we'd be able to write a dang symphony or whatever, but you just had to taper off at a at a C or whatever. So that's good to know.
Yeah, standard written range for a sax is B flat under the treble staff up to the F above the treble staff.
Above the treble staff?
Yeah.
Perfect. Or do you still use your Adler? I'm looking at it right now.
Do I? Oh, it's over on that shelf somewhere, but I haven't looked at it in a while.
Yeah, mine's buried under like a bunch of bull crap. It's actually buried under 1984 by George Orwell.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Interesting.
so how harrowing is that? I still need to read both of those books.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I would say orchestration was a fun class. You took it with Dangerfield, right?
Yeah, I did. I remember. Well, maybe I didn't. I remember it was like an optional class or something, and they didn't offer it because I was the only one who signed up, I think.
Oh, so it probably would have been. I bet you probably during private lessons you probably would have picked up some stuff, right?
Yeah, we just covered orchestration as like part of my general composition studies. Because I think
question for you.
They let me do counterpoint as like a independent study, but they wouldn't let me do it with orchestration.
Oh, dude. What did you think about counterpoint? I actually thought it was, I don't know.
It's interesting. I took another counterpoint class in grad school too. It's like, I don't know. I like learning like the logic behind Bach and like his prior his lineage, I guess. But I don't know. I feel like learning voice leading in like regular theory classes is also like when you internalize that, I think you kind of get how music works pretty much.
You really do. It's funny how those theory classes, as much of a drag as they seem to be, like it's, you're cranking out in the morning. It feels like it's a musical workout, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like even like with having perfect pitch. You know what I mean? Like having the oral dictation stuff. To this day, like it's not like I work on it, but I feel like it still proves to be valuable for me. So it's not like I'm, that's a D or whatever. But like for instance, like jazz theory and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like learning all the different chords, the sus4s, the sharp 9s, 11s and stuff, where like learning how to identify them without having to pick apart what notes they are. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that stuff's kind of cool too, just like they're all like different spices. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. You mean like orally, like
exactly orally, yeah, like different. Yeah, or even too in practice, like if you're working on crazy progressions, it's like you gotta time this, whatever. So yeah,
mm-hmm.
I was, I wish I got more out of my theory classes back in Co. I wasn't the greatest student.
Well, I mean, they
feel like over time
they always put them at 8 a.m. and that's like
I know,
setting
right?
us up for disaster.
For disaster. You know how many times I've been to my 8 a.m. classes? Barely at all. Are you kidding me? Like at 9:30 I was waking up. I missed my 9 o'clock class by then too, so that's 2 classes I missed. You know what I mean? So I can tell you about missing classes.
Yeah.
I can probably tell you about oral dictation or whatever, but not coming into early classes. I can't tell you about that.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you what not to do.
Yeah. Right now, so I accompany dance classes for like my job. That's the only job I have left. Everything else kind of died with the coronavirus, Yeah.
So like, well, I mean, same. I would imagine with Gabe's, right? Like nobody's going to Gabe's, nobody's going to bars. I mean, they're not supposed to.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I know of one spot in town that's doing like live music, but I'm not going there.
I'm not going. It's not Uptown Bills, is it?
No, Uptown Bills actually shut their doors like a couple months ago.
Wait, really?
Yeah, they're done.
Oh no, really? Oh no, dang.
Yeah,
that blows my mind. I mean, I know that a couple of bars downtown, like I know Union or whatever, is gone. I didn't know that. Oh, and of course the Mill, too.
Yeah, that's a sad one.
That's a loss, man. That's a big loss. I hope somebody picks that up soon. I really do.
Yeah, there's some people talking about trying to like turn it into a co-op or something, which I think would be awesome. But like,
that would be amazing.
I'm skeptical that we'd be able to make it work out.
No. Well, you know how many people come to both co-ops? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, sure.
Like,
Well,
you know what
I mean like a more general co-op. Like, it's still like
Oh,
the mill, but the sort of like employee-employer relationship is
employee,
kind of non-hierarchical.
not hard and
Yeah, more
stuff.
cooperative.
Yeah, I would think that. I mean, every time I've gone there for like shows and stuff like that, they seem pretty self-reliant. They sound like they have it pretty. Sometimes they know what they're doing. You know what I
Yeah, the
mean?
people that were working there like definitely knew how to run the mill.
I mean, it gives it its mill sort of ambiance. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's not like some corporatized whatever. So like, I would imagine they'd be able to make it work. I guess under the right outfit.
Yeah, it's
You know,
just the
I guess we'll see what
financials that
happens.
are concerning. Like,
Yes.
it's someone else owns it. You got to pay rent. You got to get the money somewhere. I don't know. It's
Yeah.
way above my head.
Same here,
I don't
man.
know how to make that work.
Right? I don't know how to balance my own budget. Shoot, you know, so
Yeah. Oh, I
yeah, dude.
wanted to try something. So you mentioned that you have perfect pitch, and you
Sure.
when I mentioned how low the saxophone can go, you sang the pitch to me. So I wanted to test you a little bit for the
Sounds
listeners.
good. I'm ready. I'm
So,
ready, man.
can you
I
hear?
I
Can you
feel
hear
like I've been
this?
so that's C.
Yeah, it is. But you hear the note. Okay, just
Yeah,
making sure
yeah,
the
I'm sorry, hear
my
it.
audio is routing correctly.
Yes. Where do you, okay, is that a Casio that you're using? What is
Yeah,
that?
your perfect pitch extends to like the brand of the instrument.
To brand
Yeah, I
recognition.
think I can show you on the camera.
Oh, yep. That
Yeah,
thing is so darn cool. Because I remember when you busted it out and like you're doing some crazy stuff with that. I'm like, okay, you're able to utilize. I got to tell you something, man. Like you've been able to utilize like the most. You can take like a CNC and turn that into like a freaking like turn that into something crazy.
that would be
You know what I
fun.
mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah,
my buddy Jason Palomara, he gets into that a little bit, like circuit bending stuff.
oh
You know
yeah,
about
yeah,
that?
yeah. Dude, that'd be cool to have him. I'd actually be cool to have him on there and or like just to hear you guys talk about that kind of stuff because like finding out how to route things to different things that I find that stuff really fascinating.
Yeah, he's
So,
broken up like some old toys and like turned them into weird noisemakers. It's pretty
oh
fun.
hell yeah,
Sorry, I think
that
I've
is
got
sick. I'm sorry.
dust flying around the room.
Oh,
I don't know if you
maybe it's
saw it.
all the crap on back.
All right, so let me play. I'll just play like a single pitch, and it'll be easy
Mhm.
for you, but it'll demonstrate to the audience like that you've got these
I
abilities.
shouldn't have. Dang it! Nah, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm ready.
All right. Here.
A.
Yep, that's an A. Good.
This is E flat.
That's an E flat. I'll do one more. I'm making my decision very. I'm taking it very
Right.
seriously.
I could tell. That's a B.
That is a B. Okay, so maybe if you're able to describe with words, like how do you know what I'm playing? You can't see the
No,
keyboard,
absolutely.
so how do you know what notes are
How
coming
do I
out?
know it? So no, that's a great question. I love talking about it. Not just to. I don't like bragging about myself at all. But it's one of those things that it's like, hey, here's how I work. So with perfect pitch, like I actually did a paper on this, which is really silly, right? But when I was a freshman to go, like I wrote a paper about this whole experience. Perfect pitch um, it's kind of like how when you're cooking something, like when you're cooking an egg or whatever, and you're trying not to turn it into like hard like to like scrambled eggs, like you're trying to emulsify it into something. So that's the way I would explain how like a kid right can learn perfect pitch where there is this window of opportunity. So like before my left hand, it's like like right before the kid is born or whatever, this window of opportunity could be God knows how big, where there's this plasticity inside the brain where they'll be able to make that distinction. Now, my parents, so my mom is Yoruba. It's a language within West Africa that's very tonal, kind of like Mandarin Chinese.
Sure. Yeah.
This is something I've learned about actually recently, where there's fluctuations in vowel. Oh, you know what I mean? Like
Right.
so, and of course, as a kid, you had to listen to what your parents say. You know what I mean? You don't want to not listen to them. So there's a, you know what I mean? So this context is important. So I think that might inherently have something to do with how I was able to pick that up.
Right, because
But
you were hearing and speaking a tonally focused language
exactly.
in those formative years.
Exactly. Now, while I couldn't speak it, I could at least try to understand what my mom was trying to get at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's no way I could parse what she was saying or my dad, but I could understand what she was getting at. You know what I mean? She'll speak the threatened English after, you know what I mean? So
okay, so you don't know the language?
Hell no.
Okay.
I don't. Dude. Isn't that weird? I'm 32 years old and I don't know what my parents are saying most of the time.
Well, that is interesting.
I'm like, Dad, you gotta tell me. Yeah, it's annoying. Like my dad would be like, he'll call me professor, like, Professor, you don't know what that means, do you? I just called you a jackass. I'm like, what? Stuff like that. I'm like, come on now. Like, for this day, I don't know why they haven't taught us, because my mom and dad both speak different languages in, African languages.
Yeah.
So Yoruba kind of blends across West Africa. Hausa sort of juts out up, the Sahara area. So, but it's mostly contained in Nigeria, which is in West Africa.
Yeah.
But my dad actually can understand my mom's Yoruba language, but not vice versa.
Okay.
But of course, they speak English very well. They're both English professors. So,
yeah.
Yeah. But they're from what they were from what they were able to translate from what they were saying, they were able to find out what they were saying. But regarding the whole perfect pitch example,
right?
Like I think it was 8 or whatever, and we had that actually around that same Casio keyboard that you got, where you can do some funky chords and like those beats and stuff like that. But I remember just like playing the piano once, and each note to me had like a different vibe, and this was expanded upon in my music class, where I noticed a couple things. My my music teacher had these bells. So I'm talking about these bells that look like these little blocks. You hit a note like ding, ding, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And I just remember whenever he he was just playing something, he's a weird dude. Like, I don't know why he did this, but like he had these notes, he had these things on there, and he would just randomly bing something. And then I would see the note name and I would see the color as well. So upon that repetition, and also having an actual piano there that he played as well, I was able to make those associations. But I also have like a little chart in my head. So that's called synesthesia.
Right.
Where you're blending different, it's basically like cross-contamination of different senses, or like different, so for instance, like color and sound is a very popular subsect of synesthesia.
Right.
In fact, a lot of folks that have perfect pitch do have synesthesia, yes. And sometimes vice versa. And some people are weird too. Like some people have synesthesia with temperature and sound. That's a rare one, but temperature and light or colors. So like warm temperatures are more like, some people it's like red or yellow or whatever. And to great specificity, some people feel like, oh, it's 65.3 degrees, because my brain's able to tell me this is the color that comes up, or this is the sensation that I'm getting.
So when they feel the temperature, they know what it is, because they can just sense it. Yeah, okay.
They can sense it. It's literally about sense.
Yeah.
And like the thing is, there is I wish I had learned about, or rather, I wish I had researched this more regarding this paper with the link with synesthesia, perfect pitch, and autism. But I would not be surprised if there was a strong correlation, just because of that cross wiring or whatever, where there's like activity, in between those different parts of those, those little things. So when you're playing those notes, right? So I can honestly, it's kind of like a computer. I'm like, okay, okay, this color comes up for me. That's got to be B flat. I could tell you it's B flat. Now, if there's some variances in the pitch itself, like, that's a C. But if you went, where it starts to like go sharper or whatever, like now it's kind of a judgment call. Like, okay, so if C's right here, but you're kind of like right here or down here. Now, there's some folks that can tell you, okay, you're 18 cents sharp. Or in other words, you're 80% sharp. I can't be that specific, but I can at least tell you, okay, we're hovering around these areas.
Yeah. Does the color that you envision change as it goes sharp?
That's a great question. If for me, like I'll be honest, the colors that I get whenever like someone plays a note for me or whatever, it varies. But like it's kind of like the same, like if you will, kind of like a palette. You know what I mean? So when it changes like that, like when it goes sharp or flat, it certainly does because it's blending into the neighboring pitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so
it's
if
like
we're
a
going from C
gradient.
to B, where there could be two different, the gradient exactly. The gradient can go from C to B and vice versa. But then again, it's like okay, like for me, I guess the biggest trouble with perfect pitch when things are out of tune, such as myself, I'm out of tune all the goddamn time. But you know what I mean? It's determining, okay, like what note is it? Like, you know what I mean, as far as between the two.
Sure.
Like here's the thing that's long pissed me off for the longest time. The song, okay, I love Michael Jackson, but you know, he needs to make a decision about the song The Way You Make Me Feel. Because how it makes me feel, they're in between two different damn pitches, E and F. It's like right smack dab in the middle.
Really?
And actually, if you were listening to, yeah, it's it can't make up its mind. It's like if it's F, it's really damn flat, and if it's E, it's really sharp. So the color that comes to me, it's like a periwinkle. You know what I mean? Because E to me is like a gold color ish or gold sensation. F is more like Aquafresh. You know, that toothpaste. You know what I'm saying? That color. So you know what I mean? So it's in between. So it's kind of like this light blue color. So
A more
that's
ambiguous color.
when like yeah. So it's kind of weird where like things are out of tune because obviously, you know, one could tell, but it's determining, okay, what do they actually want? You know what I mean? Like my brain's kind of going between these two. Okay, is it this or that? So like there's some tunes out there, you know, where on the radio, I'm not sure if they do this to screw with us, where like, the you know, like they may be in tune, right? You know, relatively, but objectively they're not. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Like that Michael Jackson song, The Way You Make Me Feel, because they're off by a few cents.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So
yeah.
I'm guessing that they like they recorded the song, you know, with regular instruments that are, you know, 12-tone equal temperament, you know, standard.
Yeah.
And then once it was recorded, they either like sped it up or slowed it down slightly with like Speed.
That makes sense for
whatever reason. Yeah, make it a little longer or shorter without having to re-record it at a different tempo or something. Maybe.
Justin, I think that's actually that makes the most sense to me. So I can actually go to bed at night, you know, with that
yeah.
thought. So
they weren't targeting you specifically.
Exactly. They really did. Like, we're gonna screw with Duroje in about a few years when he appreciates his music.
Yeah.
But I think, but for perfect pitch, it's a blessing and a curse. At least when I was in school, of course, it was a neat little parlor trick. That's how I've made a lot of my friends to this day. You know, like, hey D, I'm gonna play an E flat. You know, and like I would sing an E flat, you know, whatever, which is, you know what I mean, like stuff like that. But as a musician, like, the results kind of vary for me, depending on how I can employ perfect pitch. You know, like Spider-Man, you know, with his web senses, or, you know, with his Spidey sense. Sometimes, you know, it can kind of get to you, you know, where like, especially as a composer, like, okay, I know what the notes sound like. How do I want to use them?
Mm-hmm.
Is kind of the big question for me.
Yeah.
You know, like what kind of picture? Yeah.
That like brings up an interesting kind of like, I guess like necessary difference between the way you and I would write music. Yeah. Because sometimes I'm going to use a process where like, I don't actually know what it's going to sound like. I'm just sort of writing some stuff out and like just experimenting like mathematically or visually with what I'm writing without having in mind like exactly what this melody is going to sound like. But if you're writing a note on a page, you know what pitch you're writing already.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there's less mystery. Like you. Yeah.
Yeah. Which, no, you're absolutely right. And that's kind of like, we always have, you know, it's kind of neat because I'm talking with you, Justin. I'm like, man, I wish I was able to, kind of like let the pieces fall where they may. You know what I mean? In now, like, you know, with composition, something I've learned too, and I've been taught, is having like, when someone says, hey, write me a piece, I'll have a hell of a lot of easier time. Oh, okay, I'm sorry about that. I'm burning some beans.
Uh-oh, okay. This will be...
Oh, sorry about that.
really interesting for the people watching the video.
Yeah, so I
Oh,
actually let that on the. Yeah, that's not good. Oh boy, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
Do you want to? We can cut this short if you need to take care of that.
Yeah, shit. Goodness. I should have. I knew actually I was gonna do this. Oh my god, this is not good. Okay. Yeah, I guess so.
Okay, well, that's been iHearIC Radio for you. Duroje, thanks for joining me tonight. Sorry I distracted you from your beans. But
yeah, dude.
I'll attach one of the songs that you sent me to the end of this episode.
Dude, that would be awesome. Yeah. I think I have it somewhat abated. I'm gonna turn this fan on.
Okay.
But yeah, man, it's been good, man. I'll take care of this so I don't burn this house down.
It's been a hell of a way to end the episode.
It really is.
All right,
man.
I'll see you later, dude.
See you later.
Bye.